Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of how to apply for a Japanese language school. In this video, I will show you what to look for and how to apply for a Japanese language school. Now, if you haven't seen the part 1 of this series, I would recommend you to go back, check that video out, and then come back here. Okay, let's get started then. Hi guys, so here's the presentation for the part 2 of how to apply for a Japanese language school. As I said, in this video I will teach you what to look for when applying for a Japanese language school, and later in the video I will show you how to do it. Now I have listed down the points, but in later slides I will go through them in detail. Now the first and the most important thing is to know the location of the school. It's quite important. Then the course options, the fee price and installment options the school can provide, then accommodation options, which is very important again. And once you have all these details, send an email and start the process. And once you start the process, see how well they communicate with you. This point is also quite important. I'll explain you later. Now let's go through them in detail. So location of the school. So why it is important for you to know the location of the school is because living expenses in Japan differ depending on the prefecture. Prefecture are similar to states back in India. So if, for example, if you live in Mumbai, it's going to be really expensive, but if you say live in Bengal, it might be cheaper. Now also for job opportunities, a prefecture like Tokyo will have more job opportunities, both part-time and full-time jobs. And the convenience, some cities, for example Tokyo and Osaka, have really convenient transportation system which can be very useful, unlike other cities like Saitama, Chiba or Hyogo. So my recommendation is to look for all these three points when you're looking for the location of the school. Okay. Now on the right side of the presentation, I have listed down the top 10 prefectures that I personally recommend you to apply for. Starting from Tokyo, then you have Aichi, Osaka, Kanagawa, and so on. I applied for Osaka. My language school was in Osaka, and it was a really beautiful place, very fun place to live in. Next, the course options. Now most of the schools have different kinds of course to teach you, them being like general course, practical conversation course, business Japanese, short-term course, etc. But the most popular one is the general course, or also known as standard course, because this course covers all the aspects of a language. There is reading, writing, speaking, and listening. And most of the time it's either 1 or 2 years course. And I personally recommend you to go with the general course because this will help you with the overall understanding of the language. Next, the fees and the fee price and the installment options. Now most Japanese schools in Japan, for a 1 year course is around 650,000 to 990,000 yen, and an average it would be around 700,000 or 750,000 yen. Now I would recommend you to see if the school can provide you 6-month installments, which I personally did, and it helped me a lot. Next, one thing to keep in mind is if the smaller the city, the price of the school is gonna be cheaper. For example, price for a 1 year course in a school in Chiba would cost around 700,000, but it might cost more than 850,000 in a city like Tokyo. So I would recommend you to see the price and see if the school has installment options. Next, accommodation options, another important point. So most schools have their own dormitory, and some schools are also associated with apartments. And the third option for you to get is to get an apartment by yourself. Now, under dormitory, there are two types: individual dormitory and a shared dormitory. I personally recommend you to go with the dormitory because it's easier to get in. It's because it's the school's dormitory, so it's easier, and also it is cheaper and best. The reason why I recommend shared dormitory is because you live among other people who have already learned Japanese. So you can practice your Japanese with the other people in the dormitory, and also the seniors can help you with lots of uh, grammar points, and also they can give you lots of tips. And let me be honest, I stayed in a shared dormitory and it helped me a lot. I'm telling you, like, my Japanese improved a lot by being in a shared dormitory. So that would be my recommendation. An apartment associated with the school, it's good. Uh, if the school doesn't have a dormitory, I would go with the apartment option. And if a school does not have both of the options, that is dormitory or apartment, the only option you have is to get an apartment by yourself, which is quite difficult. So I would recommend you to avoid schools which cannot provide you any accommodations. Next, so once you gather all this information, so like the location, the job opportunities, or let's say the um, the fees, the accommodation options. Once you gather all this information, then start emailing and see how they communicate. So send an email stating that you are interested in studying Japanese, and once you start communicating with the school's office people, see how well they communicate and how frequently they communicate with you. Again, my personal opinion is that if a school can communicate with you faster and free and well, then it means the school is a very good school. So how to do it? So let me show you the process. So let me just go out of the presentation. Let me open up up Google Chrome. So as I shown as I showed you guys in my presentation, you have to gather the information, all these informations. Let's do that. The location. So I will try the first three locations, that is Tokyo, Aichi, and Osaka. So you need to type uh, Japanese language school in Japan. Sorry, not in Japan, in Tokyo. Once you do that, you will have a list of Japanese language schools in Tokyo, and I would recommend you to go through their website. Have your Tokyo Central Language Japanese Language School. Then we have Tokyo Galaxy Japanese Language School, Tokyo Institute. What else? Human Academy, Kai Language School. So let's look at each of these websites or these schools. Okay, TCJ. The first thing I want you to do is to go to the options and see what kind of course options they have. Let's see. They have student visa program. Okay, let's check that out. Okay, this program is similar to the general course, meaning that they would provide you visa and you can study for almost a year or 2 years. Let's look at another language school. Okay, Tokyo Galaxy Language School. Let me change the language to English. Let's go to course. Okay, I think the top one, the best curriculum is the general course, which I would recommend you to apply. And let's look at another example from Japan. That's a Kai school, which is quite famous. Okay, courses. You have, okay, you have general course here as well, which I would recommend you to apply for. So this is what I looked. This is what I look first when I go through the Japanese language school website. Next, I go through the prices. Okay, let me just go back to the first Japanese language school. Go to the options and then look for price. I don't see any price mentioned here. Let's see, let me click on student visa program. Okay, this school does not show the price in the website. Let me look at another school. Okay, the Kai Japanese language school. Okay, they have the fees mentioned here. So they have the general course. Let's look at the price. Okay, so the price for 2021 for 1 year is around 942. It's this expensive because it's in Tokyo. And let's see another school. Okay, the school, the price, the admission, tuition, and price for 1 year. Okay, the price for 1 year is almost 440 plus 360, so that would be 4 5 6 800,000. So this fees in this school is around 800,000 for 1 year. Okay, so once you go through all these details, what I want you to do is open an Excel file and write down the details. For example, let's go to Kai Japanese language school. I will write here Kai Japanese language school. It's in Tokyo because we searched for schools in Tokyo. What's the price for the general course? Is 942 yen, 942,000 yen. So 942,000 yen is general course. And okay, the next thing is to check for accommodation. Let's see about school location, courses, fees, contact, home. Let me check from home. Let me go to the fees. I hope they have the accommodation options mentioned in fees. I don't see any here. Okay, let's see. We'll try another school. Okay, let's say this Human Academy. So first we look for the course. Okay, let me change the language to English. Okay, language English. Okay, course, we have long-term course, So the general course is sometimes called as long-term course, or so or practical Japanese course. So you have to be careful when you go through the Japanese language websites, Japanese language school websites. Different schools have different names for the general course, so be careful. So yeah, let's see. So they do have a general course. So what's the price? Expense for 1 year 3 months is 987,000 yen. So what's the school name? Human Academy, right? Okay, sorry, Academy. So where's the location? It's in Tokyo. So what's the price? 987 for 1 month, sorry, 1 year 3 months. So this is much cheaper than the previous one. Again, it's general course. And how about the accommodation? Yes, they do have accommodation. Let's check it out. Dormitory, which is good. So okay, they have apartment types and partner companies. So they have a student dormitory, which is going to be cheaper. Yes, it starts from 20,000 yen, which is much cheaper because I used to pay almost 30,000 per month rent, and this is 20,000, though it is in Tokyo. So this is a good option. But if you if you stay in an apartment, it might start from 40,000, and if you buy a apartment by yourself, then it might start from 60,000 or 80,000 as well. So my best recommendation is to live in a student dormitory, if possible in a shared dormitory. Okay, so this is for the Tokyo. Now let's look for Osaka. Sorry. Okay, language schools in Osaka. Okay, Human Academy, I think you've already seen that for Tokyo. Osaka School, International School of Culture and Language, Seigan Language School, Arc Academy. Okay, so let's go through one by one. So Japan Student Service Organization. Okay, this is not a language school. Let me go to another one. Okay, can I change the menu to English? So I'm gonna translate this to English. So I'll look for another one. Okay, here it is. Okay, I got it. Okay, so here's the English option. Okay, the school name is OBKG Japanese Language School. So first, what are we supposed to look? The course. Let's look at the course. Okay, they have a long-term course which is either 2 years or 1 year. So what's the price? Okay, long-term course 1 year 3 months is around, let's see, tuition fee 1 year, see, 600. Okay, 1 year 3 months. Okay, admission 600, 880, 160, 760, 760, 860. Yes, so for the first year is around 860 yen. So OBKG Japanese Language School, OBKG Language School, where was it? Osaka. price 860,000 yen, 860,000 yen. So 860. General course, accommodation, yes. Oh, so for you, the human economy held also had an accommodation. So yes. Next, let's see. Yes, this school does have an accommodation. Look at your dormitory, and it starts around 70,000, which is expensive, but it just takes 10 minutes to walk from the dormitory to the school, which is cheap. And the gas, water, and internet is free. This means you don't have to pay anything except for the rent. The school also has scholarship system. You can look at this later on. For now, let's look at another Japanese language school. Okay, Seigan Japanese language school. Let's look at the course. Okay, they have this beginners class, which is also the general course. Let's look at the tuition fee. Yes, they do have tuition fee, and 1 year program is around 770,000, which is really cheap. So Seigan Nihongo Japanese language school, and it's in Osaka, and it's just 770,000 yen, which is really good, and it's a general course. Do they have accommodation? Yes, they do. They have dormitory, they have their own apartments as well. Yes. So you got the idea. Look for all these informations and see which one is best suited for you, for your price, and for your location, and the location you want to apply for. I would recommend to go through the list in the PowerPoint, starting from Tokyo till Ibaraki. And Tokyo, Aichi, Osaka are best places to go for because they have a lot of job opportunities. And finally, once you have all this information, what you need to do is to apply or send an email to the language school. For example, in Seigan language Japanese school, you can go to admissions and let's see, admissions, entrance procedures. Right. Okay, here you go. It says please contact us by email and download the application form and fill it out completely. So send an email to this team and they will let you know what to do and how to apply for their school. In case of this, click on contact us and it will automatically open up the email and you can send an email to them. So that's it, guys. This was the part 2 of how to apply for a Japanese language school. To recap, look for a location, look for the price, look for the course and the accommodation option, and once you have all these details, fill it out in an Excel sheet and send an email and see how they reply. If they reply well and if they reply really fast, I would recommend you to go for with that school, because personally I think a school which communicates with you faster and really well is a really good school. And that's it. Give a like. If you have any comment, you know what to do, and then just share the video. Bye bye.